I went to Little Rock, Arkansas, and I had to get the names of some Clavern leaders. A Clavern is a group of KKK men. Behind, I don't know how to say that in French, a hardware store. A hardware store. Yeah. Now they have a meeting there, and all I want is to get the names of the leaders. I'm sent by them. Now, I'm not a brave man. If they hit me, kill me, throw me in a river, it means nothing to my editor. There'll be another man. But I did know one thing. The minute I walked in, I said, my name is Fuller of the Journal. That's William Randolph Hearst. He's powerful, and they love power. He's rich, they love rich. That's Citizen Kane, the real one. Down with the Jews, down with the Catholics, down with the niggers. That's their line. The KKK. Now, this. When I was asked to do White Dog, I tried to get that feeling. See? Yeah. And I found out that there are racists and black people, black racists, that really use their own black skin to lie, cheat, steal, and get ahead in business. I said, careful. I found that out through White Dog. And it's a shame because when you pour your heart out for something, I just wanted to say one thing in that picture, that there's only one thing lower than a racist, and that is a racist who trains a dog to be a racist, you see? Now, that picture was, I'm not going to that, was never shown in the United States in theaters. Not in theaters, in television. The important thing I'd like to bring out in that picture is, for the benefit of the people, if they're watching this program, watching this show here, this interview, never saw the picture, it's just a story of a murder takes place in an insane asylum, and a reporter gets himself indoctrinated with the blessing of an editor and the psychological jurisdiction of a psychiatrist, to be admitted into an insane asylum to find out who killed the man. In the course of trying to find out who killed the man, he learns there are 3 witnesses to the killing in the insane asylum. Each witness then becomes a mirror of the United States. Now, for the black, I based it on a real man, Meredith, a young man who was the first in Mississippi to go to university. In my character, he cannot take it. There's punishment. He goes crazy, and he thinks he is he's black, remember. He thinks he is the founder of the Ku Klux Klan. He puts a pillowcase on his head, and he starts a riot with the most famous American white expression back home. Say, would you let your daughter marry a black man? That's a famous line. Would you? You have to answer me. You would. Oh, you wouldn't. You don't know what to say. You don't know what to say. It's embarrassing. If there are a lot of people that, hell no! No goddamn nigger coming into my family. You see? So he makes a speech. This is a black man making a speech. Now, what he said, I didn't write. Oh, I changed a couple of things. What he said were the speeches of 3 of the great American United States senators. White! Saying, we got nothing against those little pickaninnies. Put them in a bus and burn it! If you don't want to burn the goddamn bus, put them in a boat and burn it! If you don't want to burn the goddamn boat, let the boat get back to Africa! I ain't got nothing against them, but out! Right? Now, these are 3 famous senators. In America, in my interviews, I gave the names of the senators. They never mentioned them in the papers. Never mentioned them. But the newspapermen knew exactly who the hell said what. Now, when the black man spoke like a KKK man, saying insane words, he was insane. Yes. He was insane. But the words originally spoken by the senators of the United States. They made those speeches on the radio and in front of people. They were not supposed to be insane. I say they are insane.
Yeah.
Do you see?
Yeah. Yeah.
Bilbo, B-I-L-B-O. That's a very important senator. He's a racist. Very, very big racist. A lot of that speech came from his mouth in Nashville, Tennessee. You see? You cannot, if I do another picture now, I was asked to do a few more on racism, anti-racism. I'll do it if I get excited about the possibility of having the enemy see the picture. Do you see? Yeah. I must have a reason for my characters, the characters that I would write, not to talk with their mouth shut. I had a scene where the man who marries the Indian girl wants to know, why do you want to marry me, or why did you marry me? They're on their honeymoon. Did you marry me to change your luck? I wrote this. She says, what does that mean? He says, well, where I come from, when a man sleeps with a black girl, his luck changes. Good. Maybe you are doing this. So while I wrote that, I said, I became my own censor. It's a very good line, honey. It's an exact line of a reflection of the mirror of the mentality between blacks and whites. But I very seldom do this. I took it out myself. Ironically, the studio liked it when they read it. I became my own censor. But in that picture, which made me very happy, it's the first time the Indians do not lose. They did not only lose, they didn't massacre everybody. So they allowed the whites to live, some of them, and said, go back and tell your goddamn president or general you broke the rule. In Run of the Arrow, I wrote a character, now you must get the right word for this in French, who is a misfit that doesn't belong in civilization. Number one. He also had to be a man that looks ridiculous on a horse. I saw a heavy man. The more meat he had on him, the more hate he had for the United States inside him. That's my character that I wrote. Now, Tom O'Neill, who is then the owner of RKO, who was really, he's the head of General Tire. RKO is only one company. General Tire owns over 75 companies. The smallest was RKO. He said, I want Gary Cooper. I like him. I said, everybody likes him. But that's not the good character. Gary Cooper looks beautiful on a horse. Tall, lean, typical American Western cowboy type. You see? Number two, they like him. I don't want them to like him. I want them to be interested in him and maybe feel sorry for him, but never to like him. He represents a policy of politicians in the South that's dead and forgotten. I like him because, my character, not the other, because he lost Perdue, and everybody who loses is angry. I don't like a loser who smiles, who laughs, who says, je me moque. I don't buy it. Now, twice on location, I was with Joe Byrock, my cameraman, and in a motel twice Tom O'Neill called. He's alive. He's a big shot, the head of General Tire. He said, I can't sleep. I still want Gary Cooper. I said, look, I broke my ass on this script, getting this character a symbol of the Confederate States of America. I dug up songs against the Declaration of the United States and against the Constitution. I had dialogue in there where he said Abraham Lincoln did not die soon enough. He calls him a baboon, an ape, a gorilla. All that. I didn't break my ass on all that for Gary Cooper. He'd be wrong. He's thinking of two things. One, the money is very important with Cooper. Do you understand? Gary Cooper picture. So that's why I didn't want to use him. Now, in Merrill's Marauders, that was written for Cooper. I broke my ass on that. Yeah. The way he acts in his taciturn, not too much dialogue. When I did not like Burma and we're looking in the Philippines, Jack Warner called and said, you cannot have Gary Cooper. He's dying of cancer. That's as close as I came to make it work. So I said, I need a man who looks like a papa, a parent, a father, but whose body can be with young men. Somebody whose face looks old. So he said, what about Jeff Chandler? I said, great, this is on the phone. He has white hair, and that's how he got it. Right? But Cooper would have been, to me, very wrong, because his presence after 25 or 30 years on the screen, whatever he did, you would know he's right. And I didn't want you to think that. I wanted you to only think of that character. He thinks he's right. Now, there is the birth of racism in the South. When he has a scene, you saw the picture with the American officer, the Yankee. And the Yankee says, it's after the war, what about those men walking around in bed sheets and wearing those damn sheets over their head? And Rod Steiger's answer, Gary Cooper could never have said that. Never. He said, I don't know what you're talking about. Must have been somebody else. And the Yankee says, that's the trouble with you. That's your alibi. It's always somebody else. Do you see? Now, when this played in the South, the first half, the people loved it. In about 5 states, 6 states, they loved the picture. When the man is singing the song against the Declaration of the United States, and the goddamn Yankees, they applauded. They have Confederate flags in the theater. But in the end, when the Indian woman says, you son of a bitch, there's a flag. Is your tribe, your family, one of these stars? Boo! They didn't like it. Because you must understand, when you lose, there's a certain psychological thing that takes place. When I made a picture called Merrill's Marauders, we shot it in Philippines, but it's about Burma. Now, I have a scene of the Americans fighting the Japanese. And the scene is around, how do you say, the foundations of big oil cans, as big as this building. Building for oil and gasoline. They're all gone except the buttresses, the foundation stone. That foundation looked very much to me, in Japan, like the stones of the Siegfried Line in Germany. And when we fought there, we shot each other, and the Germans shot each other. We don't know who we're shooting at. It's insanity. Quick, quick, quick. You can't. Your eye cannot catch it. Too fast. Lightning. You move. She moved. Bam. Her head is gone. She's gone. Everything like that. And we saw the result. The survivors. And all the bodies were mixed together, Germans and Americans. The blood was the